friends, welcome to Seethu's Biology and Creativity. Today is our second part of the anatomy and physiology of the brain. In the previous video, we already know about the detailed about how the brain is composed of, mainly the three parts, that is nothing but the cerebrum, cerebellum and the brainstem. So today we are going the next other parts of the brain, which is mainly composed of, and what are the roles of that parts in our brain and in our body. Let's see what are those and what are the roles played by them in our body. So now we are going to know about in detailed way that what is the right brain and what is the left brain. If anybody knows that there are the two brains in our body, that is it is present in a right way and it is present in a left way, we don't know. But what is meant by this right brain and left brain? All the people are getting the doubt, right? Let's see what are those. Actually, I already said that in the previous video that the brain is composed of three parts, that is the cerebrum, cerebellum and the brainstem, right? But the cerebrum is mainly composed of the two hemispheres, that is the right hemisphere and the left hemispheres, like this. This is the cerebrum. It is composed of one side is the left one and one side is the right one. So these two halves are nothing but the right brain and the left brain. So see here, it is divided into two halves. Those are the right and left hemispheres. Actually, these right and left hemispheres are going to be joined together by a bundle of fibers. Means with the help of this bundle of fibers only, these right and left hemispheres are going to be attached each other. That bundle of fibers are known as the corpus callosum. Corpus callosum, or the bundle of fibers which are going to help or which are going to connect the right and left hemispheres of the cerebrum in the brain. And this corpus callosum is going to transmit the message from one side to the other side. That is nothing but, for example, this one is the cerebrum. It is having the two halves, that is the left one and that is the right one, left hemispheres and the right hemisphere. From here, one second. From here, the signals from the light, the left hemisphere, the signals are going to transfer into the right hemisphere. From the right hemisphere, the signals are transferred into the left hemisphere. This signal transformation and the message transformation is only under the control of this corpus callosum, which is going to differentiate this left and the right hemispheres which are present over in our cerebrum in the brain. This is the main role played by the right and left hemispheres and the corpus callosum, that is nothing but the bundle of fibers. Each hemisphere is going to control the opposite side of the body. For example, this is our body, right? We are having the right of our body, right part, left part of our body and the right part of our body. So here the right part is going to be controlled by the left part and the left part is going to be controlled by the right part. So the opposite controlation is happening under these hemispheres. Means the right hemisphere is going to control the left hemisphere and the left hemisphere is going to control the right hemisphere. This is a main role played by these hemispheres which are going to present in the brain, that is nothing but cerebrum. If the stroke occurs on the right side, for example, we all know that the paralysis may occur to the person, that is for example, if one of our known person is affected with the paralysis for the left side, means his left side hand, his left leg and total left side of our body is in control, he's just struck off, means the stroke occurs to that person in the left side. Why the stroke occurs to the left side, left part of his body, means because the right side part of his brain was affected. So because of the effect of his right side part of his brain, the left side portion of his body was affected. So the left side portion was under the control of right brain and left part of his right part of his body is under the control of the right brain. This is a main process is going to control under the brain in the cerebrum, that is nothing but the right and left hemispheres, that is nothing but the paralysis. So let's see, I already said in the theoretical way. Let's see here how the body is under the control of the opposite hemispheres. Actually, this is the cerebrum. This cerebrum is composed of the two hemispheres, that is the left and the right hemispheres. These right and the left hemispheres are going to be connected each other with the help of this corpus callosum. This is nothing but this is the bundle of fiber. It is going to help or transmit the message from the right to the left, from the left to the right. This is the main role played by this brain. So here this one is the left and this one is the right. Okay, so here the left side of the brain is going to control the right side of the body, and the right side of the brain is going to control the left side of the body. This is a main role happening in our body, in our daily life, with the help of the brain. So next one, not all the functions are going to be shared with these hemispheres. Means I already said that the left is going to be transmit the message to the right and the right is going to transfer the message to the left, but all the functions are not going to be transferred or shared in the hemispheres. Actually, the left hemisphere is going to control the left hemisphere, which is going to be present, means that is nothing but the left brain which is present in our body is going to control our speech, what we are talking, our comprehension, our arithmetic, and our writing. Is all these are under the control of the left hemisphere. And the right hemisphere is going to control our creativity and the spatial ability, and the artistic and the musical skills are under the control of this right hemispheres. So left hemisphere is going to activate some actions and right hemisphere is going to activate some actions, but both are not creating same action at the same time. The left hemisphere is dominated when compared to the right hemisphere, because when we use the language, when we use it is all our language, our handle nature, all under the control of the left hemisphere only for about 92% of the people. So the left hemisphere is the dominated when compared to the right hemisphere. The next one, this is about the right and the left side of the brain, and how the right and the left side of the brain is going to control our body, which is present in the right side of the body and the left side of the body. Let's see what are the lobes are going to be present in our brain. There are the different lobes which are going to be present in our brain. In the cerebral hemisphere, actually cerebrum, the cerebral hemisphere have the distinct features which are contained in the divided lobes. This is a cerebrum. We already know that cerebrum is having the right and left hemispheres. This complete cerebrum is also having the distinct features that are nothing but the lobes. Each hemisphere is having the 4 lobes in it, means total 8 lobes are going to be present, means 4 lobes are going to be present. Each hemisphere is having the 4 lobes. What are those 4 lobes? Are the frontal lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, and the occipital lobe, or the 4 lobes which are going to be present in each hemisphere. That is nothing but the left and the right hemisphere. Each each lobe is going to be divided going to be divided once again into specific areas for varying the specific function. Means, for example, this is the left lobe. It is having the 4 lobes. 4 lobes are going to be present. Again, these 4 lobes are having the different areas which is going to provide the different activities, or going to specify the different functions in our body. It's important to understand that each lobe of our brain does not function alone. It is means each lobe which is going to be present in our brain, that is not going to be function alone, means it is going to be support, it is going to take a support from the other lobe, or it is going to depend on the other lobe. By depending on the other lobe or working together, all the lobes only, those are going to work in our body. But the single lobe, means the parietal lobe, is not going to be work alone, the frontal lobe is not going to be work alone, the occipital lobe is not going to be work alone, the temporal lobe is not going to be work alone. These all are together only, these are going to be work in our body. These action, this function, those are functioning, or is a complex relationships between the lobes of the brain and between the right and hemisphere. the lobes and the hemispheres, their connection, their functions in our body is a complex functioning between the lobes and the hemispheres which is happening in our brain. And this is the picture about how many lobes are going to present in our body. I already said that those are the 4 lobes mainly which are going to present in each hemisphere. That is the frontal lobe, green one is the temporal lobe, and pink one is the occipital lobe, and orange one is the parietal lobe. In this way, the lobes are going to be present in the each hemisphere, and these are the different areas which are going to be response again under the each lobe. Next one is the, let's see which each lobe what those are going to be function actually. Frontal lobe. Actually, what is the main role played by this frontal lobe? Means it is going to be control the personality of the individual, behavior of the individual, emotions of the individual, judgment of the individual, planning, problem solving. These are the different features or characteristic features are under the control of this frontal lobe. Speaking and writing is under the control of the Broca's area, which is going to be present in the frontal lobe. And body movement, intelligence, concentration, self-awareness is under the control of motor strip, which is going to be present in the frontal lobe. I already said that each lobe is having the specific areas which are going to provide the specific function in our body. So body movements, intelligence, concentration, self-awareness are the different functions which are going to be characterized or specified in the motor strip of the frontal lobe. And speaking and writing are the skills which are going to be characterized or specified in the area of the Broca's area, which is present in the frontal lobe. The next one is the parietal lobe. It is going to interpret the language, words, sense of touch, pain, temperature, all are going to be controlled under this parietal lobe only. It is also going to interpret the signals from vision and hearing, motor, sensory and memory, spatial and visual perception. All the sensory activities are going to be controlled under this parietal lobe only. The next one is the occipital lobe. It is going to interpret the vision, means which color we are going to see and what intensity of the light we are going to see, and what are the movement, means how the objects are going to move, how we are going to move, how the trees are moving, all are under the control of this occipital lobe only. Next one is the temporal lobe. It is going to understand the language, means if in our world so many languages are going to be present. That is nothing but Hindi, English, Telugu, Urdu, Tamil, like the different languages we can listen, right? Those differentiation we are going to understand that this is not our language, this is Tamil language, and this is Kannada, this is Telugu, this is Hindi. So that's why in that way we are going to differentiate the languages, right? That all the differentiation of the language is going to be under the control of the Wernicke's area, which is going to be present in the temporal lobe. Memory, hearing and the sequencing and organization are also under the control of this Wernicke's area of the temporal lobe. In this way, the 4 lobes are going to be functioning in different way, which are having the different areas in that with the specified function. The next one is the language. The language is also, I already said that the language is under the control of a temporal lobe. Let's see what is the language and how this language is going to be controlled. In general, the left hemisphere of the brain is responsible for, this is the brain, and this is having the left and right hemisphere. The left hemisphere, which is going to present over here, it is mainly controlling the language. The left hemisphere of the brain is going to control the language, and speech also it is going to be controlled. This is called the, so that's why it is going to be controlled the language. So that's the reason it is going to call the dominant hemisphere for controlling the language and speech of us. So it is known as the dominant hemisphere. The right hemisphere is also playing a large part of interpreting. So our language, our speaking nature is going to be controlled by the left hemisphere. Our visual nature, what we are going to see the object, that all are under the control of the right hemisphere only. In about 1/3 of the people who are left-handed, speech function may be located on the right side of the brain. So we all know that in our friends, in our family members, one of the individual may carry the left-handed person, means they can eat with the only left hand, they can eat they can write with the left hand. So those people are known as the left-handed people. So why those are left-handed, means those function are located in the, means the writing function, the handling function are completely are located in the right brain only. So that's why those are left-handed people. The left-handed people may need special testing to determine if their speech center is on the left. So for determining the speech center is on the left side of the brain or the right side of the brain, those left-handed people are having the special testing purpose, or prior to surgery also may take in place for observing that the speech center is mainly located on the left or the right. So why those are having that problem, means doubt, means actually the speech and the language is under the control of the left hemisphere. So the left-handed people is so for the presence of that left side only, we are going to, our right side function is under the control of left, but the left-handed people function was located on the right-handed side. So the speech must be present in the right side. So that's why those are going to be function like that. Aphasia is the disturbance of the language affecting speech production. Actually, aphasia is the disease or the disturbance or the injury which is going to be occur in our body, which is mainly going to affect our speech production and the comprehension, reading or writing due to the brain injury. If the brain injury may occur, then our speech may get default, our writing skills may get default, our comprehension, way of talking may get default, our reading skills may get default. Most commonly from stroke or trauma may cause, all due to the aphasia which is occurred in our brain. The type of aphasia depends on the brain area damaged. By this type of aphasia mainly caused, means when the brain area in specific area of the brain gets damaged, then the aphasia may occur. And Broca's area, I already shown in the figure that Broca's area, where it is going to be, this is a Broca's area which is mainly present in the frontal lobe. This is going to be regulate the speaking and the writing of our body. So it lies on the left frontal lobe, I already shown in the figure. If this area is, if the Broca's area is damaged, means it gets damaged, then it is going to default moving the tongue. Our tongue may not move. Our facial muscles do not produce any sounds to speech. While we are going to speak, our muscles are going to help us to move our mouth from up and down, right? But those muscles do not help our mouth to speak out because of the damage of this Broca's area in the frontal lobe. The person can still read and understand spoken language but has difficulty in speaking. The person who is get affected with this Broca's area, he may not talk, he may not write, but he can listen and he can understand the way what is listening to him. This is the way which is affecting that person is known as the Broca's aphasia. The next one is a Wernicke's area, which is present in the left temporal lobe, and if the damage may occurs in this Wernicke's area, then it is known as a Wernicke's aphasia. The individual may speak in long sentences that have no meaning. If the person he can speak, the person who is suffering with the Wernicke's aphasia, he may speak for a longer time, but the observation, means the characteristic feature, the meaning in that words are not present. Unnecessary words can come out of his mouth if in that person who is suffering with the Wernicke's aphasia. They can make speech sounds, but there is no meaning in their words. There is no sounds in there, but they go on sounding like without meaning, without having sentence. So those are mainly suffering with the irregular explanation of their feelings, irregular explanation of the views to the outside via the speech. So this all is created by the effect of this Wernicke's area, which is nothing but the Wernicke's aphasia only. This is about the second part of the brain, which is mainly controlling our language, our right and right side of the brain is going to control the left side of our body, left side of our brain is going to control the right side of our body. I think you may understand the video. If you like this video, please do subscribe, share and the like. Thank you so much. In the next video I'm going to upload the third part of the video. Thank you so much.